In this video, we're going to look at the charge flowing through a wire and try and explore how resistors change the charge flowing through a wire. And our basic tool for looking at this is going to be a compass. So you can see where the compass needle is if we have a battery pack, a wire, and no charge flowing at all. If I put the wire directly over the compass, we can watch what happens once we get some charge flowing through the wire. So notice this is just a plain wire. It has no resistor in it at this point. So we can watch the compass needle, and we'll see what happens when the charge is flowing through the wire. I'll close the circuit again, and you can watch what happens a second time. So hopefully you can see that there's a big change in the compass needle when current or charge is flowing through the wire. So now we're going to look at what happens if we put a resistor into this wire. So a resistor is going to change how the charge is flowing through the wire, and we should be able to see that once again by looking at the deflection on the needle of the compass. So once again, watch the compass needle and look at what happens when I change how the current is flowing through the wire by using a resistor. That's going to change how the charge moves. So watch the deflection now as I close the circuit. I'll close it a second time. Again, watch what happens as I close the circuit. So you should have been able to see a big difference between what happened without the resistor and what happens with the resistor. Well, a second question to ask is what we're seeing on this side of the resistor, the left of the resistor, different than what's happening in the wire that's on the right side of the resistor over here? So let's take a look at those two. We saw this already, but let's just to make sure, let's watch it again. When we're looking at the left side of the wire, we can see there's about 10 degrees of deflection there. What about if we rotate this around and we look at the right side of the wire? So notice the resistor is still over here. I'm just moving the wire so that we're looking now at the opposite side of the wire, and watch the deflection. So you should see that looks about the same. So whatever the resistor is doing, it seems to be doing it to both sides of this wire. A third question we can ask is what happens if we put a second resistor into the pathway? So now we have one resistor over here, a second resistor here, and what happens at this point to the deflection of the compass needle? So let's take a look at that. Here's going through two different resistors now. The compass needle is moving, and you can see it's again different than it was before.